Today, Jordan and I are going to be doing some speculation in what action figures should be sold right now because we're going to have redos coming up soon. We want to be able to sell our action figures high so that we have more money to buy more action figures down the road. Stay tuned and let's talk about it. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Strong Collectors Podcast. I'm your host Dakota, here with my co-host Jordan, and today we're going to do a little market speculation. So for us, like if you go back and watch that Grow Your Action Figure collection for free, this is going to be a little bit of how we do that. Try to speculate when the aftermarket is really high in a certain figure. Maybe just like in stocks, you want to sell your figures high and then buy them on the cheap. So some different factors can play into that, whether there's a re-release coming, or some figures like a Spider-Man, like you know that a Spider-Man is coming again next week, just like McFarlane's going to put out a Batman next week. So if one of those figures happens to be going really high, you may want to think about selling them, because then, going back to that last video of growing for free, then if you sold your figure for twice what you bought it for, now you can go buy 2 more action figures. So we're going to talk about some of those figures that we think are really high and in a good spot to sell right now. Don't take our word 100% for this. We're pretty good at this. We've been pretty accurate, but we have made some mistakes in the past. So don't go out selling your favorite Grail and then come after us saying, "Oh, you told me to sell it," and then Hasbro hasn't made another one in 5 years. So I think we can start with some like keep figures. And I don't have a huge list of this. Maybe you do, Jordan, but yeah. I'm thinking, like I just said, if you've got a figure that's your absolute favorite, number one figure of all time, probably just hold on to it. And like, you're probably not going to make a ton of money on it. I mean, if it's like Pitt or something, Pitt's probably not going to get remade. So keep those favorites. And then if they make another one, you can decide whether you want the new one or you want to just keep your favorite. Another one, I think, is the HasLabs. The Marvel Legend HasLabs anyway. Yeah. Galactus and the Sentinel are pretty much selling at about retail right now. I mean, you can, if you don't care about your Galactus anymore, you bought, 3 so you could sell 2, have 1 for free, and it didn't really work out. If it's taking up a lot of space because those are big boxes, I'm okay with you guys selling them if you don't want them. I'm going to keep mine. Maybe when he comes to the MCU, if he ever does, that would raise his value up pretty significantly.
With ones like that, I don't see him going like down below.
Right.
That. I mean, it's probably like the lowest it'll be at this point. So, I mean, like you said, if you want to hold on and hang on to him and hope that it goes up,
right,
probably could be smart.
Yeah. So I would hold on to those if you can. You're probably not going to make much money on them. And then the last one I have on my list is the old movie Green Goblin from that like Sandman statue Build-A-Figure wave. Now I know we've got leaks of a new Green Goblin from the No Way Home movie coming, but I don't think that's going to be the same type of outfit. I think it's going to be the more hobo-looking Green Goblin with the scarf and hood. So if you really love that original, I would keep it, because I don't think you're going to get that with this new wave. Maybe I'm wrong. That old one is going for pretty good money, but then if you end up selling it and then this one's not that same one, it may continue going up and it may be hard to track back down again. So did you have any on your keep list, Jordan?
I guess I'm trying to think. There's nothing really off the top of my head that I'm like, hang on to that, I guess. Yeah. If I think of any, I'll throw them out there. But
that was kind of where I was at too.
Yeah. It's almost harder to speculate. I think it's harder to speculate on that than what you should probably sell.
Right. Because a lot of times Hasbro will re-release some of those oddballs. Right. Like I would have said, keep your Space Venom, because they're probably not going to make another one, because that seems like a very specific character, and then they put him out in a 2-pack. So, I mean, I think there are some things that are safe to say, like you're not going to get Pitt remade or any of those figures that came in like that, his wave, or what was that, Monkey Man, or something like that, that next wave of legendary heroes.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Those probably won't get remade, at least by Hasbro. I mean, maybe some other company would pick them up and do them, but I think those are pretty safe in their values. But now, let's get into a little bit more of the speculation. I think this is a little bit more juicy. What we think is at a all-time high that should probably be sold. So I've got some that are pretty high, some that are a little lower. I think one that is surprisingly, like, astronomically high right now is Scarlet Spider. Whether that's in the retro wave or the Rhino wave. The Rhino one's a little bit cheaper. I was looking and it was about 60-ish plus for that one sealed. And then it's not that much less, like $50, maybe even 60 loose. Because I don't think the Build-A-Figure parts he comes with are that valuable. He comes with the heads.
Well, especially with the retro Rhino.
Right.
Tanked that one.
Yep. But then the retro carded one, that one, if you've got it sealed, it was an average of 111. I think it's pretty easy to sell that one for 90, and I saw some sales like 150 and higher. So those could have been flukes.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I went with the average of 111. But we had from Displaying Model Behaviors, he talked about some new leaks coming out, and one of those leaks was potentially a Scarlet Spider. So,
well, I feel like that alone is too iconic of a look and a character to not get remade.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if how imminent it is, but
yeah,
I have to imagine they'll do it, and then it'll be better tooling anyways, since they've got all those new Spidey molds. So
right, maybe on the Renew Your Vows body or something like that.
Yeah.
So, and like you said, like with that being such an iconic look, you know Hasbro's eventually going to come back around to it. Whether this next Scarlet Spider is not the right one or something, they're going to remake him. Sticking with some of that like retro themed, a lot of the retro first wave of the Spider-Man villains are going pretty high. So like Electro, he's going for $50 loose, 60 plus sealed. Mysterio, 35 loose, 45 sealed. Kingpin, 70 loose, 90 plus sealed. I think those are three Spider-Man villains that are classic enough that they're going to get remade. Kingpin has had the Build-A-Figure in the Deluxe Retro. I think they would do another one, maybe not quite in that same look. So that's where I could see, like, that one's a little bit more of a speculation. They probably will do another Kingpin.
Those ones were all the, like, you know, my beef with the, like, retro, where it's, like, not quite the animated series, but it kind of is. So those are ones I could see if they want to keep going down the line of, like, the true animated series looks.
So that's where I think if you want... I think Mysterio and Kingpin are two that you may not get that exact same costume again. Like, if you really like the gold, like, gloves, boots, maybe they would do it more like the animated series. So, like, there will be another Mysterio put out, but it may not be the same colors as the one that is in the retro wave. Same with Kingpin. I could see them doing, like a black suit, because that's kind of a little bit more of his current look, I think, in, like, the Daredevil comics and the, was that Devil's Reign?
Yeah.
So, you know, you're going to get a Kingpin, but you may not get that white and purple yellow combo. Another one, this one I would for sure, and I don't know why you haven't sold it yet because it's not even that good, is Sabertooth from the Apocalypse wave. I know that's the only, like, Jim Lee looking Sabertooth we've gotten, but it's pretty small for being a Sabertooth, and
yeah, I think that one will only keep going down.
Yeah, so it's
hover.
35 to 45 loose right now, and then I saw some sales, they were about $50, but then there were some as high as 90 sealed. So maybe those were just some flukes, but, you know, if for $90 I would sell that one for sure, because that's another one that Displaying Model Behaviors had put out as a leak, that we're going to be getting a Jim Lee Sabertooth in a 2-pack. So to me, that makes me think we're going to be getting a bigger, beefier one, maybe on that Caliban buck.
I was about to say. Hasbro, if you're listening, put him on that Caliban, buddy.
Because they've been doing some of those more like...
You would lose it, man, if that's what they do.
I'd buy 10. No, probably not 10. Not really an army builder, but...
Army build Sabertooth.
But that's one that, you know, like I said, not really a great figure to begin with, but I think they're going to do a better job of him. So sell him now while he's high. Get out before he drops. Another one that's leaked in those 2-packs, but I don't think it's going to be the same look, but I think we're going to get this look again, is Psylocke. Psylocke is supposed to be in the 2-packs, but I'm not sure if they're going to do kind of that more like first appearance Psylocke, which version, because she's had quite a few different costumes. Maybe the Outback Psylocke, because they've been putting together an Outback team. But the Apocalypse Wave 1, she's going for $35. I've seen some sales up to $55 loose. And then if she's sealed, $65 again, maybe some flukes at $90. And then maybe that's the purple hair variant, because I think that one's more rare. But Psylocke is one of those characters. If you go back and listen to the 9 figures we think should be updated on the new Black Widow body, she's one of those that I think could be updated, because I don't even think the one that's out, that Apocalypse Wave, is just single jointed. I think so. I'm not for sure, but I'm almost positive. The new one in the 3-packs is not. She's double jointed, pinless.
But that's not the...
Yeah. That's not going to be your Jim Lee looking
look, so
yeah, or well, maybe that's Jim Lee. I don't know who wrote those, but it's a different look. You're wanting kind of, I'm thinking of like, if I want a Psylocke on display, it's going to be the purple onesie leotard thing. So I would sell her, but you know, if you have that purple hair version that's really important to you, that she's got purple hair, but even though like that one's so high, like $90, just get the new one.
Yeah,
that's my opinion. Going Build-A-Figures now, as much as I love him, and I'm keeping him because he's one of my number 1 favorites, I think Giant Man is about to drop.
Yeah.
Because he's hovering right now about 150. I see him in the groups, but then on eBay he's selling for about 200-ish.
But he was like 250 easy for a while.
Right. So I don't know if that's maybe the anticipation of the HasLab is already driving his price down.
Yeah, it seemed like it's in the past few months he started going down, and then I'm sure, definitely if there's since we're thinking it's going to be Giant Man, that would probably do even more. Or I don't know. Then,
this is kind of that speculation of if we're wrong and it's not a Giant Man, the price is starting to come down, you want to sell, but then if it's not Giant Man, I think we're going to see that price climb back up to the 200 easy.
Or like, is it... Yeah, that's not guaranteeing, as we've talked about, what the look will be or what the scale will be, or because it really is a pretty great build figure. I must say that one is pretty.
I think it's the number 1 best all time, in my opinion.
Yeah, one is really well made. So, and again, it's like kind of you take it with like, if you're interested in getting the most value out of a sale, if you really, like you said, if you love that figure. I doubt it will be like they're going to do in that same scale with that same look.
Right.
But if you want to get money out of them, I think that would make sense.
And that's even if it funds, which I think a Giant Man would fund depending on like if Hasbro does some crazy price and it's just not even affordable for people. But I think he would fund. But then that's the thing is if he comes out, and I would assume some people are going to be selling their Giant Mans to get the new one. But then if it doesn't fund... then you're going to shoot that price right back up. So, like I said, if he's your favorite all time, but if you just kind of got him sitting in storage collecting dust, it may be time to let him go. Going back to the leaks that displaying model behavior talked about, I think it's time to jump ship on Dum Dum Dugan, because we only have the one from Toy Biz. Not a great figure, but if it's your only version of that character, so you're just kind of stuck with him. But we've got the leaks of a new one coming out in a 3-pack. Right now he's going for about $35 to $45 loose, which is surprising because it's not a great figure, but it's his only look. So I would get rid of that one, because as soon as that new one comes out, the price on him is probably going to plummet. In that same 3-pack, we're also going to be getting a Nick Fury. It wasn't specific on whether it was going to be an Ultimates version or a 616. I'm hoping it's a 616 because the one I've got up here is kind of outdated, not super
that
great.
One's older too, isn't it?
Yeah, his neck joint is pretty loose. Like I've had 3 of him.
I have to imagine we'll get a Nick, especially with, with like all the Avengers stuff, and that just seems like one that definitely needs an update.
Right.
Like you said, whether it's imminent or whether it's further out. I'm sure they'll come back around to a Nick Fury and maybe even be a 2-pack. Nick Fury, Dum Dum Dugan.
It'll be a 3-pack because it's going to be Nick Fury, Dum Dum Dugan, and Sharon Carter. So I would say sell your Sharon Carters, but it's not. You're not going to get much money.
You can get $5 out of her, so
right.
Yeah.
Not really worth your time. But yeah, so depending on which Nick Fury it is, the Ultimate one is going for about $35-40 loose. The 616 one is going for about the same $35-40 if he's got those alternate heads. So that may be the reason to keep your old Nick Fury, because he comes with I don't know what the guy's name is, but the one with the kind of digital eye patch. I don't know what his name is, but it'd be another character reason to keep your one. But I am probably going to sell this Nick Fury pretty soon. May not be quite yet, but it's coming. One that I did already sell is the VHS Wolverine, because we've got the new, I don't even know what you call them, retro-ish card. It's that style, but it's in the 89 X-Men?
97?
97?
X-Men 97?
98?
From
the... Yeah. That one. So we've got that one on pre-order. So I was like, do I need a Wolverine that looks exactly the same but with cell shading? A little bit
cell shaded.
Right. And
with the P-leg.
I don't have any other cell shaded figures anymore, like at least for the X-Men. Oh, I got some cell shaded Cyclops. That'll be the only one I have. But he's not cell shaded.
But even then, he's hard. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got rid of that one because this new Wolverine is going to be pinless. It doesn't come with that picture frame accessory, so that's kind of a cool add-in for some people, but I would never really display it like that. It's kind of just like a fun, you open it up, oh yeah, I remember that episode, and then it's over. So I sold that one. If you've got the box, it's going for about $50 to $70. I think I sold mine for, I want to say $50 a couple weeks ago, which I thought it was going to start going down, but it looked like the prices were still ticking up a little bit. But I think once that new one comes out, and it's supposed to get here November 1st, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I think once that one's in hand, the VHS one may start dropping. So do you still have yours?
Yeah, he doesn't have the he's just as is with the claw hands, so I don't know how much he would go for that. Sure. I haven't really looked into it.
Okay.
But yeah, that's interesting. I mean, sticking with the vein of X-Men, what do you think about, would we see a Professor X anytime soon?
That's challenging because Professor X was pretty deluxe.
Right.
So I think we would probably
especially though we saw him in the Multiverse of Madness. He's rumored to, I think, somehow get reincorporated in another appearance.
In Deadpool?
Yeah, I think somehow.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, that just seems like that'd be a...
Yeah, he's super high.
And then with the 97 cartoon, I can't imagine...
But he's supposed to be dead, though, isn't he?
Yeah, well... You know how that works.
Yeah, I feel
He'll probably come back around somehow. So, I could see it maybe they use that as a reveal. You're like, oh my gosh, he's back. But
yeah,
I don't know. Because that one is pretty high right now. Probably. Yeah,
I sold mine for $80 and he was loose, and I think sealed he's easily $100.
That's just one to me that I'm like, if I were Hasbro, I'd be like, let's just redo Professor X, because...
Right. And even just put that exact same thing out, people would... Right. I would buy it.
Or, it seems like that 2-pack Colossus is going pretty high now. Have you seen him?
Yeah, I think I just sold one for $50.
That's what I'm saying.
And that might have even been cheap.
I think he would be one to move to... I don't know. I guess if you love Colossus, but...
Yeah. I think I'm going to keep mine, but I agree.
To me, it seems like a character that they would be like, yeah, let's... Because I know he was in the animated series, but I could see them... if they're going to keep revisiting characters from that, or...
Well, with the
X-Men...
Astonishing X-Men?
Yeah. Yeah. Right. So and that's pretty close to, his...
Right. So it would just be a small tweak that Hasbro would have to do, and then put him out again. And then I wonder if they would do, a 2-pack with him and Kitty. Mm. But... because he seems too big to put out by himself, even though they've done that in the Warlock wave. He just seems very... Yeah. I don't know. They wouldn't put Destroyer out by himself. So maybe he would be on like he'll be the deluxe version of the X-Men 97 or something like that.
I could see that. That's one that I would, if I had him, I'd probably sell him. But
the only way I think I would get rid of mine is if they announced an Astonishing X-Men Cyclops or Colossus. Because
then does yours become less valuable, Dakota?
I don't know, because I think it might be different enough that he would still hold some value, because it's like the classic Jim Lee look. So and that's the look that everybody wants. Mm-hmm. So I think I would be going for more of the like people they would settle for the new one if they didn't have him. But I don't know.
You're still jonesing for that Astonishing X-Men team.
Yeah, but I'm willing to risk it and keep my Jim Lee Colossus because that's the one I want.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
But.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think which other ones. I noticed we were talking about the Vision Retro, which I think there definitely was a peak to sell him, which was probably a little bit ago. But, I mean, definitely, if you're not aware now, we do know there is a new one coming. So you're still hanging on to that Vision. I think he's... But I don't know. I've seen some people commenting, even saying they like the look of the older one better. But, I mean, the new one's going to have better articulation for sure.
Right.
But, I mean, if you want to get some money... It seems like that the Retro Vision is obviously more of that, like, shinier look than the new one. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of one thing to consider, too. It's like, is this new version going to be what you want? I guess it depends.
Yeah, I think I would probably lean more towards a less shiny version of Vision.
I think I would, too.
Yeah, I agree.
I'll send you the picture this time. You can put it up. But the wedding cake.
Right.
Because I have to keep that Vision because he was on our wedding cake. So, you know, even when I was thinking, I think a couple months ago we talked about that where I was like, you got to keep him, but that would have been the time to sell.
Yeah, but no, you definitely can't get rid of that one. That one's nostalgia. That would probably put it in a casket when you die.
That's right. I'll be holding on to the Vision. And then my children, when it spikes, they can dig me up. But yeah, Vision, that's definitely one. Mm-hmm. And so we were talking about the A-Force She-Hulk. Yep. You're thinking that's one that...
Well, with that new Power Princess body, I think everybody's kind of speculating that that's going to be a She-Hulk. So, and I think that A-Force one is the highest. I mean, there's like some SDCC exclusive ones that are higher, but like this one is kind of your closest, like Fantastic Four Avengers type of look.
Right.
My guess is Hasbro's going to make a Fantastic Four She-Hulk first. And probably put it on the retro Fantastic Four card because they haven't done a lot with that. They've done the 4.
Yeah, they kind of started that.
Plus the 3 villains, plus 2 Pulse exclusives. So I guess that's 9 figures. But I think they're going to do a She-Hulk on that first before they give you a classic, just regular She-Hulk.
Yeah.
But also maybe people want the Fantastic Four look even more. So I think we're going to get multiple She-Hulks coming up.
I like it.
So,
with that, in the A-Force pack, what would you think? Where would you speculate with the Elsa Bloodstone in that? Because I almost feel like she's peaked where she's going to be.
She probably has. So it's, but also if
she's still going like 70 to 80, I think.
I think so, yeah. Especially complete, because I feel like a lot of people lose her accessories.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
that's
just
one.
don't know
If I
they
had
would
it
make
just
another.
on principle, I'd have to sell it. But well, and part of it, maybe it's just more my wishful thinking, you know, for more monsters. But especially, I don't know, because I was rewatching the Man Thing special, or not Man Thing,
Werewolf by Night.
Werewolf by Night. That'd be one to sell. I don't know. He's kind of gone down too, though. I think.
Yeah.
He used to be higher, but I don't know. I guess maybe I'm just more leaning towards being hopeful that there's more monsters coming. But
yeah,
I was thinking that about Man Thing. That might be my hot take. Would be if you got Man Thing to sell them.
Yeah, maybe you're gonna get a 2-pack of Man Thing and Elsa Bloodstone,
or Werewolf.
I feel like Werewolf.
But then
would
at
make
that point,
sense.
would it be MCU? But they look pretty comic booky.
It'd be the same.
I would say Man Thing. That's one that I have actually that I need to sell.
Okay.
But
I just feel like that would almost be too valuable of a 2-pack for Hasbro to make. Because usually they're going to put a figure. Well, I guess Man-Thing people have, so it's. And if they did Man-Thing and Elsa Bloodstone, those are two just total. We've already made these figures, now we're just putting them out again. If they did a werewolf, they'd have to redo it.
Well, I was. I mean, we didn't do this as an episode, but when they just announced the Amazing Fantasy and Moon Knight.
Yeah.
I didn't really see those coming. Do you know about those?
No.
I mean, the Moon Knight one makes more sense to me, but I was kind of like, Amazing Fantasy? But he seemed like, that almost seems like Hasbro saw, because I had like some of those and I sold or traded or whatever, and then he kind of was growing up recently in the past few months. So it almost looked like they were like, shoot, this one's going too high, let's put him on a retro card.
I feel
because at that point it's like, you can just slap anything, because that wasn't that long ago that he came out. He was already being reissued.
Right. So yeah, and I think I would think they had to have had that planned, where maybe they knew that plastic-free packaging was on its way out, because they've said that they're not doing that anymore. So maybe that was kind of their like, oh, we've already made this one. Technically, it's not the first appearance Spider-Man, so if we put him out on a, retro package with the plastic, and then we put the blue spider on the back, then it's technically from the first appearance.
Right.
But
it's even more accurate.
Yeah, I don't even really like the blue spider on the back, so.
What about the Netflix Daredevil? I think he would be a seller.
Yeah.
Because A, I think that figure sucks, but B, I mean, with them confirming they're doing an MCU show with him, I have to imagine we'll see either, maybe not that exact suit, but at least a variation of it.
Yeah.
But he seems to have gone down too, though. But I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of the Punisher, because that Netflix Punisher was pretty high for a while.
Right.
I feel like he's cooled off.
I think if you have them sealed, they still may be pretty high. Because I think I sold both of them for like $35. But I also probably could have sold them a little bit on the cheaper side, so you could maybe get a little bit more out of them. Another one that I had, which I'm not going to sell because it was my first completion getting back into Marvel Legends, is the Annihilus Build-A-Figure. This one was kind of all over the place, whether it was as low as 60 or as high as 90. I saw a couple for over 90, but I honestly think that figure should be in the $100 range, because it's a pretty cool figure, and it would be kind of challenging for Hasbro to do it again, just because of the size. Like, it's going to have the wings. So I guess maybe
it's like, how would they release it? Would it be?
Would they be able to use those Venom wings on it?
I don't know.
If you repainted them,
weird.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it might be able to work. I mean, Hasbro would probably try to make it work. But I've seen some people wanting a new Annihilus, and it makes sense because he's got some.
Well, there's also the rumors of, will he be featured in the Fantastic Four movie?
Oh, but then we're going to get an MCU version of him.
Yeah, but I mean, there's always that synergy between wanting to cross promote. So it's hard to know, but because a lot of the times they'll do that where they kind of like roll out comic booky stuff to like get you excited for, the movie appearance sometimes. But I don't know. Yeah, that's one that would make sense for them to do. I just like you said, I don't know what the context would be.
And they could really update it too. Like I say, it's a great figure, but it's pretty limited, and it's because he's like so hunched over permanently that you can't really get the full size out of him, and he works better like on a high shelf looking down because of that hunch. So, and you could maybe put, I don't know if you could do army builders of like the Annihilus drones, but that'd be kind of cool too. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm keeping mine. Sell yours if you want to.
What do you think about Dr. Dooms, both Super Skrull and Retro?
I mean, I'm sure they'll make more. I'm surprised that the Retro's not more expensive, because I sold one.
I know, me too.
I don't even think I sold it for very much, like $30, $35 at most.
And then
if I even sold it for that much.
Like, would they have to redo a Dr. Doom at some point?
Right.
It's just always that question, because then it's that thing of preference, like if you want more of the like comic booky look, definitely the Retro, but then the Super Skrulls, but then those are so limited, like you can hardly pose those guys at all.
True.
Like, they're just
Yeah. And that was one that I think when we were talking about the new Earth's Mightiest Hawkeye, I think I had said something about that being the first soft goods, but it was actually, I think it was that Dr. Doom is the first one to come with soft goods.
He has that little like
fabric collar thing, yeah. So
what about Mole Man? That old Mole Man.
Does he go for very much?
I sold one not long ago for like 50.
Oh, all right, yeah. Jump ship.
That thing is like a McDonald's toy. It does not move at all. Seriously, his arms go. Which I guess how dynamic is Mole Man, but for what it is, it's good. But again, that's another one that I could, if we're going to continue with the Fantastic Four line, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I could see him on the retro card, but honestly, I would rather see him next year in the HasLab. I think that would be super cool. Do the Fantastic Four first appearance, or maybe not the first appearance. I think it was issue number 1 where they're like fighting Mole Man and his monster, right?
Oh, the Moloid thing or whatever. Yeah.
Because then you could do some like tiers of some other like smaller minion type creatures. And
would your Annihilus show up there? No, that's too big.
Yeah,
I wouldn't give you that. Maybe
probably not. I doubt it.
At least like a Fantastic Car or something, though, probably.
Yeah. So I think that would be cool, but yeah, I think just a regular Mole Man and like you said, the Fantastic Four retro card would probably make more sense, but maybe that's just me. But I think, yeah, if he's going for 50, I would.
I don't know if he is right now. That was a little bit ago. I'd have to double check, but
okay.
I mean, if you could get even close to that out of him.
Yeah, especially if he's mostly just a statue.
He is.
The last one I have on my list is the Ms. Marvel from the 3-pack, the Warbird, like black and gold red sash. I think Hasbro's got to be doing another one of those. Like, she's in the Mighty Avengers. It's probably like her number 1, like what people would think of as the look for Ms. Marvel, a comic version, and we haven't gotten.
Well, she's had that look for longer than she's had that look she has in the MCU right now. So
right, because have we gotten a comic version of Ms. Marvel since the Allfather wave? I don't think so.
Not like the Carol Danvers, yeah.
Right. Because and then even before that, I think we only have
Toy Biz?
The Giant Man Toy Biz, the 3-pack Toys R Us. Yeah. And then the Allfather one. So definitely time for an update on that one. And she's going for $55 to $80 right now. I think you're probably going to more likely be in the $55 range, but maybe you get a fluke and sell her for $80. But
yeah, if you can get $50 for her, I would say that'd be a good sale.
Yeah. And what were you going to say?
A random one just came to my head was Chameleon, but again, if they did him from the animated series.
Yeah, I mean, I've got him for sale right now, and I've sold him. I've had him up for since I got that last lot, so that's probably at least a month or 2 ago, and he's sitting at 35 right now. And I've had people be like, "Oh, Dakota, he's going for 45. Sell him." Yeah, I mean, he should be more than 35, but yeah, people aren't buying him. I even have an extra accessory with him, so. Maybe just the people seeing my posts. Yeah, if you're listening, let me know if you want that Chameleon.
But even then, though, that's weird to me that because that one, I mean, he had that suited body, and then he came with because even if they redid him animated series, he'd probably look like, where he's in his getup with the morpher, whatever.
Yeah,
so
the belt.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that old one. I mean, I was tempted to keep him, but I think because of the thought of the animated series gonna have that one come out, I'm like, I'll sell him. But yeah, that suited body is pretty good. He comes with the 3 heads, so he's got the J. Jonah Jameson head and the Hammerhead head as alternates, and he's got like 3 weapons he comes with. Maybe I put an extra one in there, but he's got like the Tommy gun, which I don't know too many other figures that came with that, and I like that one. So
I got another one I thought of. What about the 3-pack Daredevil? You think he's only? I'm not saying the one from the 3-pack.
Okay.
Because I mean, this is one that, according to the Dakota speculation, and we think we're getting.
I think regardless of whether we get it in the cell shaded version or just another regular, like single carded release, Daredevil's got to be coming.
Yeah, I really like that figure, but it's also like...
Because how much is he going for right now?
I'm pretty sure I've seen people like...
60?
Maybe. I thought like
more?
In the 80 range.
80?
80
yeah.
to 90, but...
Like the whole 3-pack is just in him? The whole cost?
Basically, yeah. That's what I've been seeing is like if you have him, it's basically like you would make up the cost of the 3-pack, which... I don't know. I mean... Depends on maybe how long you're willing to wait, because...
Yeah. Well, I think with the Mindless One wave, with that being a Daredevil in that wave, I think you're safe to hold on to your Daredevil for a little bit longer and let the price maybe even tick up a little bit more. Yeah. Because I would be surprised if they put out a Daredevil in that wave and then they come out and put another one out a few months later. I would think it would be farther down the line. Still maybe next year.
I would say hang on to them for a little longer, but yeah, definitely if you...
be ready to jump ship. And then that's the thing, too, is if you want the cel-shaded version, which I could see more people wanting, the regular version, and maybe that only helps his value. So,
those can be tricky ones.
I am hoping they make another one, because I'm not paying $80 for him. I didn't need the 3-pack.
Yeah.
So, give me that single-carded. He doesn't even have to be on the Renew Your Vows body. Put him on Vulcan or something. Which I've seen some people do some pretty good customs of, like a Vulcan.
I have too.
So, I don't know. You got any others that pop into your head, Jordan?
Not off the top of my head. I mean, I think that's a pretty...
I was thinking about putting the MCU Falcon Build-A-Figure on there, like his Captain America, but I was looking him up and he's going for like $35 at most, and because there's supposed to be a deluxe one coming, which I'm going to assume is going to be that same figure, just maybe different paint or something. But
he's supposed to have like a new suit in that new Captain America movie.
Yeah, so it's probably just going to be very similar.
And
but
then
it's
if we see Red Hulk in that, do you think they do another Red Hulk?
Yeah. I mean, they have...
Because he's still, I don't know, he's in like the 40 to 50 range.
I think, about 50-ish. But maybe a little bit higher
if they re-released him, it's like he's probably not going to be much less. I mean, he probably would be around that, so...
Right.
And I know Dakota will swear and die by that Red Hulk figure.
Number one figure.
It is good, man. It is a good...
Red Hulk right there, baby.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to improve upon that, even if they did another comic one, I think.
Right. And, like, maybe they use some of the, like... But he's not really one that, like, needs the smoother look like the new Grey Hulk from Earth's Mightiest, so... Yeah. The only thing that they could really do is, like, increase the range forward on the butterfly joints to kind of, like, get him to, like, punch across better. But even that, like... They would have to, like, redo that whole torso, and if they didn't do it for the Earth's Mightiest... Why would they do it for Red Hulk? So,
it's true.
And I even think he would probably look more like a MCU Hulk. Like,
yeah, they would probably do an MCU version before they do another comic.
Right, like it would just be a repaint of a green MCU Hulk, and I don't want that kind of a Red Hulk. That's not hulky enough. I don't know.
I just wonder how the general audience will take Red Hulk.
Yeah,
because like. I mean, as a comic fan, it's kind of fun, but like to the general audience, like, what are we showing? Because then there's like every color of Hulk, you know, like.
Because then are we going to get into like the Red She-Hulks too, and
right?
But even I don't know. Because the way they brought in Scar.
They probably wouldn't maybe. Wait, brought in who?
Scar. It's a car, whatever. His
son. Oh yeah, you're right.
I'm not excited for that storyline.
You're going to have to put up a photo of him from She-Hulk now.
Like, that was, I don't know if that was so bad. Because he's supposed to be like more, I think of him as like a hulked out like Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's like savage, but he's
right. This one looks
like man bun.
Yeah, like bald
that to me was just so... He's just like, this is my son, Scar. What?
Like, I feel like Scar's been on, like, he hasn't been, like, training and fighting. He's been in the basement playing video games or something. I don't know. Hashtag not my Scar.
Making his cold brew.
Yeah. So, if you've got your old Scar, might want to hold on to that one because the new one looks like a total nerd. So if you've got the old red She-Hulk, I don't know what she's going for, but you might sell her. Because I could, like I said, with that Power Princess, I think they're probably going to eventually start putting out a lot more versions of She-Hulk.
A lot of possibilities with that body, for sure.
I don't know. I think that's a pretty substantial list we've created there, Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Like we said, don't go out selling your favorite figures, but if you are trying to sell some figures kind of at their peak, some of them we may have missed peaks, like Retrovision, probably should have sold him before San Diego Comic-Con, and Hawkeye.
He's really plummeted.
Oh yeah, those have dropped for sure. So there's by the time this one comes out, you might have some time to go back and enter the giveaway for the Spider-Man No Way Home 3-pack or the Batman Batmobile. The giveaway may have closed already, so either way, go back and comment on that video. Get your entries in just in case. And make sure you're liking, sharing, subscribing. Get yourself a Strong Collectors t-shirt if you want. And stay strong.